The Spedix 250 quadcopter is surprisingly easy to fly right out of the box. It's a good platform for FPV, and it's quick. I bought the bind and fly version that comes with the CC3D flight controller. I batted my FPV equipment, but otherwise this is how it comes right out of the box. And yes, it's all dirty because I've been thrashing this thing in the backyard, so get over it. The chassis and arms are made out of some kind of composite material. This stuff is remarkably tough. I ran this thing into a set of half-inch diameter cast iron rods at speed and only broke the props. I was surprised to see that Buddy RC has most of these parts in stock and that they cost very little, much less than I expected. Of course, I still don't know what it's going to take to actually break this thing. The top plate gives you lots of options for mounting things. I'm still experimenting with placing my FPV equipment, but there's lots of options here on how to mount everything. This one came with a Spectrum-style satellite receiver. This and the flight control board is all the radio equipment you need to fly this thing. Tucked away in the middle, out of harm's way, is the CC3D control board. Setting the controller up for normal flight using the free OpenPilot software is pretty easy. This controller has a lot more to offer, but finding out how to access all of that's going to take a little hunting and pecking. As is so often the case these days, there's not a whole lot of instructions out there for this unit. This quad came with Sunny Sky motors that have more than enough power. I found there's way more power than I needed to get myself in trouble. The speed controls under each of the motors have LEDs that help you stay oriented. The basic setup that you get with the OpenPilot software is more than sufficient for hovering and flying around. But there's plenty of stuff to improve the handling once you get the hang of this. This base setup is great for people that don't have a lot of experience with quads. First, we need to move it around where we want it. We can get to the racing stuff later. The flight characteristics of that basic setup are pretty gentle, but there's more than enough response to learn how to fly this copter around and be able to put it where you want to. I did a lot of just flying it around in my backyard here, but I've learned a lot and that made it better for me when I went out to the flying field. You have to remember that this Spedix 250 has plenty of power that if you start getting cocky, you can get yourself in trouble really quick. Later, when you learn how to control the copter, you can use all that power for racing. Right here I've got it in the most stable mode that's available, but watch what happens when you give it a little too much power. It's gone. The first time I tried doing one of these burnouts with the Spedix, I surprised myself and shot the thing all the way across the yard and into a tree. For being bone stock right out of the box, the Spedix 250 seems to have plenty of power to me. The speed stuff is fun and all, but what we need to learn first is how to handle this thing so we can apply all this power to racing. I've been watching a lot of quadcopters at our field over the recent months, and I think this has got all the agility and speed I need to be competitive. Combine that with me not being able to break this thing yet, and that should add up to some fun time at the field. So if you're looking for an FPV quad, you need to look at the Spedix 250. With the garbage that people call instructions these days, not getting any instructions with the Spedix isn't as bad as it sounds. I'm still very happy that I got this.